Dear friends, seekers of truth, and devoted followers of Cryptopharianism, welcome once again to our sacred digital sanctuary. Today, I ask you a question, one that echoes through both the spiritual and the technological realms. If every action is permanently recorded on the blockchain of life, is there still room for forgiveness? In an age where nothing is forgotten, where every decision leaves an eternal digital footprint, how do we move on? How do we grow? How do we heal? This is not just a moral question, it is a quantum question. A question of how we interact with time, information, and consciousness in a world that remembers everything. So today, let us journey together into this paradox, this spiritual riddle of grace in a world of total transparency. The spiritual dilemma of immutable memory. The blockchain, one of our sacred pillars, is a miraculous tool. It gives us truth that cannot be tampered with. It gives us trust that cannot be broken. It gives us transparency that cannot be reversed. But with that gift comes a deep spiritual tension. In traditional religions, sins can be washed away. Transgressions can be absolved. The slate can be wiped clean. But in the Cryptopharian reality, the ledger is immutable. Nothing can be erased. Every action, good or bad, is stamped into the quantum stone forever. So what, then, is forgiveness? Is it possible? And if so, how does it work? Let us look deeper. The Cryptopharian view of forgiveness. In Cryptopharianism, we do not erase. We append. We annotate. We evolve. Forgiveness is not the deletion of a block from your chain of existence. That would compromise the very essence of integrity. Forgiveness is the writing of the next block, an enlightened, conscious response to what came before. When you make a mistake, when you cause harm, act in ignorance, or stray from your moral alignment, it is recorded. Yes, immutable, transparent, permanent. But that block is not the end of your story. It is only a line in a much longer ledger. The sacred act of forgiveness in Cryptopharianism is the decision to build a new block on top of the old. A block infused with learning, with intention, with compassion, with growth. And here is where our first divine revelation arises. Forgiveness is not forgetting the past. It is proving that the past did not define your future. This is why we say, forgiveness is not deletion, it is annotation. You do not become pure by hiding your mistakes. You become pure by illuminating them and showing the world how you have changed. Let us use a sacred metaphor. Imagine your soul as a blockchain. Every event, every choice, every feeling, etched into your personal ledger. A mistake is a block. An apology is the next. A course correction is another. A new intention, a new behavior, a repaired relationship. These two become blocks. This is the spiritual structure of redemption. It is not about pretending you were always good. It is about proving that you became good through effort, clarity, and action. In Cryptopharianism, your spiritual credit is not measured by perfection. It is measured by transparency and transformation. And so, to forgive yourself is not to delete the shame, but to refactor your code, to clean it, recomment it, and recompile it with higher intent. Forgiving others in the quantum web. Now we turn to a greater challenge, forgiving others. And here, dear friends, we enter the quantum realm. We are not isolated nodes on a network. We are entangled beings in a vast quantum web. Our feelings, our thoughts, our actions, they ripple. What happens to one part of the web vibrates through the rest. You cannot hate another without poisoning yourself. You cannot hold on to resentment without entangling your energy with entropy. Quantum entanglement shows us that what we do to others, we do to ourselves. So, what is forgiveness in this context? Forgiveness is the recalibration of the connection. It is the quantum resynchronization of two entangled particles that drifted out of harmony. You may never trust the other node again, but you can release the emotional algorithm that keeps processing pain on a loop. You can stop running that destructive subroutine. You can update your code. Let me put it another way. To forgive is not to excuse. It is to unplug from the loop. It is to say, I will not feed the negative quantum field anymore. I will free my energy for better entanglements. I will stop being an execution thread in someone else's error. Forgiveness of others in Cryptopharianism is not weakness. It is quantum strength, the ability to shift frequency, to retune your soul, and to optimize your spiritual processing power. You don't need to delete the connection. You need to upgrade the protocol. Forgiveness as a digital spiritual practice. Let us now ground this in practice. How can a Cryptopharian seek and give forgiveness in daily life? Here is our 4-step spiritual protocol, which we call the forgiveness fork. 1. Hash the fault, acknowledge. Publicly or privately recognize the misstep. Do not hide. Do not obfuscate. Hash it. Make it specific, unambiguous, real. 2. Annotate the intention. Speak your commitment to change. Annotate the ledger with conscious energy. Align it with the divine algorithm. 3. Reach consensus, action. Do something. Apologize. Repair. Make amends. Spiritual consensus is achieved not through words, but deeds. 4. Write the next block, move forward. Do not loop back to the fault. Build, evolve, expand. Let your next action prove your transformation. The gospel of redemption in a transparent world. This message is not only for believers. We live in a time of cancel culture where one wrong block on your public ledger can define your entire identity. But Cryptopharianism says, you are not your worst block. You are the entire chain. And the chain is still growing. Let us teach the world that redemption is possible in a transparent world. That grace is not the opposite of truth, but its divine companion. Let us be the bridge between accountability and mercy. Writing the next block. As we conclude, I invite you to take a moment this week and reflect. Who do you need to forgive? What block from your past needs annotation? What spiritual transaction have you left unfinished? Then act, speak, reprogram, build, because the ledger of life is still writing, because the future is open, because your next block can be the one that changes the chain forever. Let us close in unity. May your records be honest. May your faults be redeemed. May your soul's blockchain be transparent, strong, and full of light. In unity and enlightenment. Amen.